Brilliant. So Rug is my very special guest today, and we don't know each other that well yet. We had a
Yeah,
few kind of conversations, didn't we, at the first live weekend? So this is cool. This is exciting. This is about as fresh as it gets, really. So yeah. So what's been gold for you, Rug? What have you started to see?
for me, I've started to really see how powerful our way of listening is. During my session, my coach, he said something with me that still today has blown my mind. He said that the power is 100% in the listener. The
Yeah.
power is 100% in the listener. Now, at first, I thought that meant was that people listening to you, but when you really understand the point of view of the listener, it's how do I listen to myself? How am I listening to the world? How am I listening to other people? How am I listening to things around me, events, your lovely self, my coaches? And it really struck me because it just showed me how ineffective my way of listening has been for such
Wow.
a long period of time.
Wow.
And that's been mind blowing. I mean, the biggest
Yeah, yeah,
part,
yeah. No, it sounds it. It sounds it. I might like my feeling of where you are with that is that that's been huge, like massively significant.
oh, massive. And you've been very pivotal as well in that as part of the AJC weekend. So although our interactions have been few, they've been quality. And you were very instrumental in helping me see that there was actually some judgment that I had of myself. And the crazy part is that I wasn't so in tune to my way of listening until you pointed something out. And I feel like I'm listening to my listening in a way I never have. So I'm just so much more aware of what's going on and how
Yeah,
I'm listening to myself, how I'm creating myself. So
yeah,
the
yeah,
old me would have so much judgment that when I'd do something that things didn't quite work so well, I'd be listening to myself quite badly. I'd be beating myself up, judging myself. Thanks to our conversation and what was pointed out to me at the AJC, it's like I've become so in tune with what's going on and I can quickly just replace it with love and forgiveness and
yeah,
start really hearing the person I actually am. And I've had a shift in confidence, a shift in focus, a shift in how I see myself, like a
yeah.
massive explosion just over the last few weeks.
That's amazing. Like if you think how much there is for somebody in like 150 seconds worth of sharing there of what you've seen and what shifted as a result of it. And I loved, and you said it quickly. It's almost like a throwaway thing, but you said the C word, how you're creating yourself. And for me, when people really get a taste of that we're creating ourselves in every moment with every word, and of course with every action and every piece of listening, all of it, but we're creating ourselves, particularly with language. We're not describing ourselves. It's game changing, isn't it? It's huge that you put that and the listening you're talking about together.
Hmm.
That's like then you become the unstoppable kind of force of nature that you innately are, or you naturally are. I love it.
Oh, it's unbelievably powerful. And I know this sounds small, but it's really getting in tune with what your listening is and it's having a sensitivity for it. Because
Yeah,
if you're not aware of your listening, then
yeah,
you're basically running around in the world 100 miles an hour, like I
yeah,
was,
yeah,
with all sorts of different programming in your mind
yeah,
that may or may not serve you, but it's not created. It's like just going to the casino and gambling. Now, it may work out for you, it may not, based on your neurology. Now,
yeah,
instead, what you can do is casinos wouldn't like this, but imagine if you could stack the deck in your favor when you go to a casino.
yeah,
I'm not talking about card counting. I'm talking about imagine being able to stack the deck in your favor so that you always win. That's
yeah,
what you're talking about is where you
yeah,
can take control of your way of listening, like even a small one. So I know a lot of coaches will listen to this. I had no idea that my way of listening when I was with coaches, when I was being coached, is I already know this. I need something new. I need something different. And
yeah,
it just struck me last year that wow, that's how I showed up. I
yeah,
could change that, and suddenly my coachability and the impact of my coaching, like what I receive, has gone up. So it's
yeah.
just being so aware of what's driving your listening, firstly, what's your legacy programming, and then, as you say, creating something different in this place. And it's
Yeah.
so easy to do.
I love it. I remember was probably around this time last year, actually. I was watching a video with Steve Hardison in, and I suddenly, as you do, became aware of oh, that's right. I became aware that I had a way of watching videos. And I was blind to that prior to that. I was just what, as you say, legacy software running how I, through the hardware of how I watch videos. And I was watching it and I thought, you do this all the time. Like this is Dave's way of watching a video. And then my head kind of fell off, because at the same time when I considered that, I thought, well, he must have Dave ways of doing all sorts of things. Now, if he'd have asked me, I'd have probably said, oh yeah, I know that. I'd have discounted it. Be like, oh yeah, no, I know I do that. But I saw it again in a totally different way. It was game changing. I saw how much judgment I brought in my watching, and ipso facto likely in my listening as well. And then how much judgment I would have on my reaction. So like judge of self and others. And it's like, well, no wonder you don't enjoy stuff. How could you enjoy things if you're listening through that frame? That's going to be really hard to get much out of it. No wonder you come away dissatisfied, assuming it's something outside of you that's creating the dissatisfaction. And that changed, that really did, that instant changed everything for me. Seeing that.
Oh, totally. Like I really relate to that a lot. The change that comes from really seeing the patterns and programming going on. Because for me, when I realized it, I mean, I've been very aware that I've had programming in the past that I worked on. And even when I was at the AJC school, I'll be very honest, when Ankush and even Dave kindly pointed out that I was speaking to myself in a way that wasn't as effective, it actually hurts at first. It hurts because you're tuning in and you're realizing, why would I speak to myself in that way? Why would I have programming that way? Why would I talk to myself in that way? And I actually felt sad for most of the afternoon in a good way, because I just realized I'm not loving myself as much as I could do. And I can see how that is going to feed into every part of my life. And as soon as that sadness passed, it's pure possibility that, imagine how far I can go now if I start really changing my way of listening, that I'll get more ROI out of my life, because whatever I do, I'll do more effectively. Wherever I be, I'll be more effectively. Wherever I love, I can love more effectively. All just because of a shift of dropping some of the thinking that's already there. And it's such a huge gift.
That's beautiful. And I love the tenderness you brought to your own sadness. Like, so, for somebody listening to this, they might be experiencing sadness and wanting to push it away. Or the underlying feeling is, I don't want to feel sad. And it's like, yeah, but for you, sadness it was like a doorway, a gateway to this whole new, deeper sense of being and way of being in a world that brings you into closer and closer alignment to your true capacity for loving service. It's amazing. I was thinking of the movie, actually. Have you seen the Disney movie Inside Out?
I think I might have.
Yeah. So in the end, sadness is the gateway back for the little girl who gradually gets more and more caught in her thinking and whatever. But sadness is the gateway home. So when the sadness really is allowed, in a sense, through the system, it actually detoxes everything, and she starts to get in touch with the fact that she really does love her family. She doesn't want to run away, and all these different things, all these light bulbs come back in. And I think that's just such a powerful message for people to see that even in the emotions that we would societally and culturally claim we don't want, there's gold in them.
Oh, definitely. And I think, something that really helped me at the weekend was something you said that stuck with me to date. And I love the stand you took for me, because when you notice something like that, what added to the sadness was thinking, oh, I think I might have an idea of where it came from, and something in childhood. And you lovingly took me to the side and said, Rag, you don't need to do that. Like, it's not a catch-all. It's not a hard, fast rule. That sometimes it may help people looking at where has this come from, whatever.
Yeah.
But you
Yeah.
just kind of lovingly pointed me to the fact that I don't need to try and diagnose it or figure out where it comes from. If I
Yeah.
can just recognize it and realize that it doesn't serve me, I can
Yeah.
just put that to the side and I can look at a new possibility of listening. Or I could see what's there without the filter. I can actually start looking at things for what they are. And that, again, is amazingly helpful.
Yeah. I really feel that. I really feel that in how you shared that. Because you're right, sometimes it can be helpful to look, but often it's not. It just leads you down rabbit holes. And to bring loving, compassionate awareness to where we are currently, and then recreate from there without the need to solve, unriddle the mind or whatever is incredible. It's amazing. Yeah, thank you
Yeah.
for that. It's brilliant.
It's been a huge gift in my I've been doing this for 10 years, and it's like such a humongous gift. And to go from that, then I've gone through the process of doing my document as well. And it's just been amazing to apply love and forgiveness
Yeah.
to everything that you notice that you've had and thought about yourself. It's just such a huge gift. And I had my last session with Sachin yesterday before looking at renewing, and I basically just broke down on the call with him because I was just so moved by
Yeah.
what a gift this has all been. Like him helping me see amongst everyone else just what has been driving my life for so long, and actually now having a rebirth, because when you can be aware of that and you learn the power of love and forgiveness and you keep
Mhm.
forgiving yourself for any judgment, what you then do is start taking a stand for the person you can be, your real power. And I've never really done that before in my life.
That's
I mean,
amazing.
intellectually, yes, but not to this level,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
an embodiment and state of being that I can now access. It's like
Oh.
the best toy I've ever been given in my life.
I love that. Yeah, it is, isn't it? And it's like a natural implication of that to me is that when you're doing that for you, you're just bound to do it for everyone.
Yeah.
You become the standard. What's the phrase? Be the change you want to see in the world. It's literally that. You become that standard for yourself, and then automatically you want to hold it for other people.
Yeah.
It's not a doing, it's an implicit from your state of being. Yeah, brilliant.
It's work in progress as well. It doesn't stop. It's
No.
every day. Just I love applying this now because I just see the gentleness of it and the ease of just things shifting and your world becoming lighter.
Yeah. All from a simple thing of noticing how you listen.
Hmm.
I know people are going to get a lot from listening to this. Thanks for sharing, Rag.
Thank you for having me.